And welcome to Macomb High, or I guess we could just watch it on the screen. We could do that, couldn't we?
Yeah, you could do that, sure.
Arnold Brothers Heating and Cooling bringing Macomb Bomber basketball to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. I'm Dwayne Hulett. Shelby Bergen, the man, the myth, the legend, is alongside.
Well, I don't know about any of that, but I guess the man part we're okay because I'm almost 60, so.
Yeah, I've never grown up, though. Does that count for anything?
Yeah, I haven't either.
It's Jake Croxton on the PA on the far side. We'll have the national anthem, but we were talking about where we were going to watch it from, because I say that because the student section stands up right in front of us as we have the national anthem here, so we'll let you folks at home hear that. So Jake Croxton going to do the starting lineups. We can tell you what the starting lineups are for tonight's varsity contest. For Quincy, Notre Dame, the first starter, a 6'4" senior guard, number 2, Aiden Giddenbacher. Another guard, a 5'10" junior, number 3, Alex Dance. A forward, 6'4" senior, number 4, Aiden Klauser. Another forward, number 50, actually another guard, is 6' sophomore, Jace Allensworth, number 15. And another forward, a 6'3" senior, number 14, Noah Luntz. And got to see his sister over on the far side. I haven't seen her for quite some time. I used to DJ down in Quincy back in the day. I met Megan, his sister, so got to see her a little bit ago, talked to her for a few minutes. Been a long time since I'd seen her. So Noah is a senior. She's been a big supporter of him. She was here when Quincy, Notre Dame, and Macomb played in the playoffs last year in football, and he was a starting quarterback that day. So for the Bombers, number 1, 5'11" sophomore, Drew Watson is one of the starters. Malachi Conley, a 5'8" junior, wearing number 5. Braden Holdhouse, a 6'1" junior, number 12. Number 20, a 6'7" senior, Ian Case, and that's being really generous at 6'7", I think. I could be wrong, though, but I walked by him, and he didn't look 6'7" to me. But who knows? Oh, I turned you down. What was that?
I said that might be stretching it just a little bit.
A smidge. And the other starter, a 6'5" senior, the Bad Boy Mowers. Athlete of the Week, presented by Ron Elvey Auto Sales, number 10, Dion Doyle. MVP of the Bushnell tournament last week, and led the Bombers in scoring every game, and they're 6-0, off to a pretty good start.
Pretty solid, I think. Obviously, a couple big wins last week, but I think this will be probably their toughest test of 8.
Conley with it. He goes to Ian Case. Watson looking down to Dion Doyle. Turnaround jumper, about 10 foot is good, and he picks up right where he's been leaving off, and he drops his first 2 for the Bombers.
If he gets that all night, he'll score 100.
As the shot is up, off, no good, and we really can't see down there very well, folks. That is Klauser with it. Now it's going to go to Lunt. Lunt's going to drive. His shot is blocked by Ian Case, out of bounds. It'll stay with the Raiders. Should have brought my 32-inch TV and we could have watched it on there.
Yeah, there you go.
I have to make that mental note, won't I? Inbounding all the way up top. Out to Klauser now. Over left side, it goes to Allensworth. Now on the cut, Allensworth on the give and go gets the bucket to fall. Jace Allensworth gets the first two for the Raiders. Tied at 2 now. Holdhouse gives it to Watson. Ian Case. Holdhouse down low. Spins. Fade away in the middle of the lane is good for Braden Holdhouse.
Good patience there. A couple different moves and worked himself a little space and got the basket.
Looks to be Dance over there. And thrown away by Ginnenbacher. Actually, it was tipped by the Bombers out of bounds. It'll stay with the Raiders. Dance is going to inbound for Quincy Notre Dame. It goes to Lunt. Ginnenbacher back to Lunt now. Nope, that's Dance, excuse me. No, it's not. It's number 5. 5 or 3. Lunt put up the shot right there. Doyle saves it in, but it's going to go as one of the officials falls down right here in front of us. And that looked like a foul, but the shot's up and in for Alex Dance, and we're tied at 4. That official took a pretty good tumble right there.
It was. So much for basketball being a non-contact sport. Huh?
Right. Watson looks at the 3, gives it off to Holdhouse for 3. It's long. Doyle's going to go over the top and pick up the foul. First foul of the game goes to Dion Doyle and the Bombers. First on the team and the player.
Nice job blocking out there to keep Dion away from the ball and got the foul.
J.D. Beal, one of the officials, right here tossing the ball into play. Taking it up is going to be Alex Dance. Up top it goes to Klauser. 3 on the way is off, no good. That was Ginnenbacher. The Bombers bring it back with a chance to retake the lead. Tied at 4 here. Holdhouse with it. He'll go to the rack, puts it up. It's off, no good. No shot. Foul on the floor. We'll see who they call it on. I can't see his hand. I think it's on number 3. Alex Dance, his first, team's first. A lot of contact on that one. Inbound, Watson to Holdhouse. Back to Watson. 5:20 remaining here in the first quarter. Ian Case has the baseline, gives it to Doyle. His shot's up off hard, no good. Doyle tipped it around, and it's going to be picked up off the floor by Lunt. It'll go back the other way for QND. Dance has it now. 5:04 remaining. He gives it off to Klauser. Now it's going to be Allensworth. Way out to the 10-foot line for Lunt. Really a 5-guard offense almost here for QND, isn't it?
Yes.
Everybody outside the circle a lot. Klauser with it now. Comes over near side to Dance. Basket was good. Klauser got the bucket. And it's 6-4 Raiders. Watson, not sure where he was going with that. Ginnenbacher with the steal. And Case knocked it away from him. Holdhouse comes up with it, and he pushes it back the other way. Case baseline. It gets a little push from Lunt, and that's going to be the foul call. Second on the Raiders, first on Noah Lunt.
Good job by Case there. Obviously driving to the basket, looking for Doyle underneath there when the defense comes in to cut him off. So
Holdhouse to inbound now for the Bombers. He lobs it up to Doyle. Watson on the dribble. What a crossover. Man, that should have been a bounce pass to Hobson, and it would have worked perfectly, but knocked it away. It'll stay with the Raiders as Hobson hit it, and the official almost smacked that QND player in the head down there. I think it's number 24, Tyler Bozarth. Jackson Canoyer in the ball game. 20, Bo Eftink in as well. They both started in the JV contest. Bozarth had it inbounded. He's going to get it back. Gives it off Allensworth now back up to Allensworth again. He'll put up the three. Looks off left. It is. Watson with the rebound. Malachi Conley leaves the finger roll short, and he's going to pick up the foul. His first, team second. 3:34 to go here in the first quarter.
That was a good go to the basket by Conley, but you got to finish those kind of shots, and maybe if you use the backboard on that.
We've seen a lot of shots, though, here early, and we say it's early. The Bombers are playing Game 7. It's Game 4 for the Raiders, but it's still early, and finding your range is probably something that's going to have to come still yet here, right?
Yeah, and I mean with the case of the Bombers there, you know, when they played 5 games in 6 days, and then you have like a Sunday off and then one practice, and then you play another game. And
Knoyer with a turnaround jumper is good. Off the bench in the 8-4.
It can be a little tough to find your range, so it is early. But then again, you know, one of my pet peeves is not using the backboard. So
Hobson, pull-up jumper, 10-foot baseline, bounces around and falls through. Jake Hobson gets the bucket to fall, his first 2. Allensworth drives baseline, dumps it off to Knoyer. Now it comes up to Bozarth. Bozarth gives it back to Knoyer. Now back up top to, now down low and quickly on the, Allensworth got the rebound and the putback, and somebody couldn't see what number shot that, but they might say it was a pass.
Be like the old tip drill in football, you know, shoot it off the backboard and have the other guy go get it.
Yeah, exactly right. Holdhouse drives, backs it out. Hobson with it, left side, near us to Watson. Doyle who has really not touched the ball since. Oh, nice crossover, fade away, and he gets a punch in the gut from number 34, Jackson Meyer. I think that's who they're going to call it on. We'll wait and see. Nope, it's going to be on 24. Tyler Bozarth, his first, team's third. 2 free throws for Dion Doyle. He's got 2 points. Make it 3. Number 3, Alex Dance back in. Connor Bishop in for the Bombers, number 3. So a pair of threes come in right there. Second one's good as well. Ian Case checks in. Dion Doyle takes a seat. So it's Bishop, Hobson, Case, Holdhouse, and Watson on the floor for the Bombers. Knoyer, Dance. Number 34, Jackson Meyer. Number 20 is F-Tink, and number 24, I believe, still in the game. We'll wait and see here if I can see the other player. It is number 24, Bozarth, still on the floor for the Raiders. 1:25 remaining in quarter number 1. That is Meyer on the dribble. He's knocked away by Conley. Pushed back the other way by Watson. He'll put the finger roll up, leaves it short. Rebound, and in a steal by Conley. He lays it up off the glass. No good. At least he used the glass that time, Shelb. Goes out of bounds off Bozarth. And he gave Watson a look. Checking back in is going to be Aiden Klauser replacing Meyer. And Watson was like, "What? You know, I'm just playing a basketball deal right there."
Yeah, I mean, just threw it off of him.
Watson for 3. No good. You know, that was something, that JV game, there was not a single three-pointer made by the Bombers. No sports corner threes in the first game. Dance is going to drive, blocked by Case. Off of Bishop, out of bounds. It'll stay with the Bombers, or stay with the Raiders.
Yeah, some nights you'll have that. I mean, as far as shooting goes, I mean, they had some good looks and had some at about halfway down and come back out.
Jace Allensworth back in for the Raiders. Goes into Bozarth. That's an NBA 3. It's off, no good. Tracked down by Klauser. That's Bozarth for 3, a little closer that time. The putback by Knoyer is no good. And a rebound by Malachi Conley. And Conley might be the best small rebounder in the area. He is a very good rebounder for his size. Knoyer picks up the foul, his first, team's fourth. 27.3 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. 10-8, Bombers trail by 2. Case with it, out past the 10-foot line. Right side to Hobson. Bishop with it now. Goes right side, Watson, 8 seconds remaining. Gonna have to do something with it. 5 seconds, 4, 3. Watson down to Case, puts it up off, no good. Case got slapped in the eye. The quarter comes to an end. The Bombers trail the Raiders at the end of one, 10-8. We'll take a break and we'll be back with the second quarter right after this on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
I went through MDH when we were trying to get pregnant. We were struggling the first year, and then when we got pregnant, I stayed at MDH and through labor and now for pediatrics. My experience was nothing short of phenomenal. I was met with amazing staff members who helped me through concerns that I had when she was first born, helping me learn how to be a new mom. It was really reassuring and comforting knowing that I had so much support and kindness around me. My entire pregnancy at MDH was amazing.
Welcome back to Macomb High School. The cheerleaders leaving the floor after the quarter timeout. 2019 is the last time you covered a basketball game here?
Last time we covered a boys basketball game. Obviously, the girls played there earlier this season, but yeah, it was 2019 season, a Class 3A regional game. At the time when I was still working over at Canton for the Daily Ledger, and the Little Giants played here against Morton in the opening round game.
So it's Raiders basketball to open the second quarter. Dance is going to drive, dumps it out left side. That went out there to Ginnenbacher. Well, that was Dance with it. I'm getting those two mixed up. Lunt, clear out the Clouser. Man, he was clear out on the end line, or out on the half-court stripe almost.
I can barely see that far, let alone would have tried to attempt a shot that far.
All right. There's Ginnenbacher with it. Far side Dance. Up top, Noah Lunt for 3. Top of the key, off, no good. Rebound goes to Allensworth. Now Dance is resetting the offense. Left side to Lunt. Ginnenbacher looked up top. He's picked up by Watson. Nothing doing there. It's going to come to Clouser. Dance with it now. 7 minutes remaining. The Bombers haven't had an offensive possession yet, and Connor Bishop picks up his first foul. Team's first of the second quarter. That's a ticky-tack one right there.
Yeah, that was kind of a silly foul there. Pretty unnecessary. Just play defense.
6:58 remaining. First half. Dance up off, no good. Right side, it goes to Holdhouse, down to Dion Doyle, and he gets his second bucket. He's got 6. Only 2 free throws have been shot in this game, both of them by Dion Doyle. He's made them both. Aiden Ginnenbacher gets the bucket, his first 2. And it's a 2-point lead for the Raiders, 12-10. 6:09 to go. Watson drives through, dumps it out. Ian Case wide open. He's going to take, nope, I thought he was going to take the baseline. Noah Lunt cut him off, though. Bishop, as foul's going to be called on Aiden Clouser. It'll be his first, team's first of the second quarter on the Raiders. 5:59 to go here in the first half.
Finally heard a little something from the Crush there. That's the first time I think I've heard anything from them all night.
Yeah, student section's been pretty quiet, hasn't it? And we're right beside it. Holdhouse had his pass stolen away by Lunt. Dance has it back the other way now. 5:45 remaining, first half. Near side, it comes to Klauser. Klauser skips it all the way across to Ginnenbacher. Ginnenbacher picked up by Holdhouse. Out to Allensworth, I believe. It was Allensworth. That's the first 3 of the game for either team. Largest lead of the game is at 5 now for the Raiders, 15-10. Case thought about a 3, didn't take it. Gives it up to Watson. 5:15 remaining first half. Dion Doyle with it, out top of the key. Conley, Watson. Drew Watson to the rack. Can't finish at the rim. Conley had another chance at a rebound, and he lost it out of bounds as he was up there out jumping Ian Case for the rebound.
It was a good move to the basket by Watson, just unfortunately just couldn't finish.
Timeout on the floor, charge to the Bombers. It's a 30-second timeout. That'll be the first timeout of the game called. This game being brought to you by Pond Plus. Pond Plus is proud to have served Macomb and the surrounding area for over 20 years, providing cash for most items of value. Pond Plus is the area's largest seller of used items, including firearms. They also provide on-site jewelry repair and are open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday. They have great selections of jewelry, electronics, tools, and video games located at 324 West Jackson Street in Macomb between Erico and Taco Bell. Taco Bell sounds kind of good. The Old Dairy sounds better. Some good Old Dairy dessert. What do you think?
I had random thoughts today about a McDonald's eggnog milkshake.
Oh, do they still do those?
They don't, I don't think. But
Allensworth going to take it up. That is old, man. That's old school right there. I haven't thought about an eggnog milkshake from McDonald's for a long time. I want to do a search right now and see how long it's been since they had them. Shut up off, no good. Holdhouse takes it back the other way for the Bombers. Hop in the live chat, folks. Tell us where you're watching from and who you're cheering for. Down to Doyle from Case, and it's in and out, no good. Good defense, though, by Ginnenbacher to force the issue on the shot.
It was.
Klauser goes all the way back, counted, and a foul. Ian Case is going to get the foul for the Bombers. His first, team second. Basket is good for Aiden Klauser. He's got 4 and trying to complete the old-fashioned three-point play right here. Off, no good, but the Raiders get the rebound. Noah Lunt came down with it. He gives it off to Allensworth, and then he threw it right at Lunt's head, and kind of like we saw Abby Nelson do an earlier broadcast today, Lunt just ducked out of the way. Couldn't get his hands up, didn't want to get hit in the head. I can't say that I blame him.
No.
Watson. Of course, you think if you have time to duck, you'd have time to put your hands up, right? Maybe he thought it was going to somebody else. No comment?
I have a hard enough time trying to figure out what I'm going to do, let alone trying to figure out what somebody else might be doing.
I can appreciate that. Ian Case, the fadeaway is short. I want to say hi to Jalen Conley, watching out in Nebraska. Malachi's older brother. Bozarth is back in. Dance goes down low to Allensworth. Back to Bozarth. Down in the corner it goes. Back up top, Bozarth again. Boy, he touches the ball a lot when he comes in, doesn't he?
Yes.
Fade away. Off, no good. I believe that was Allensworth on the shot. 3:07 to go in the first half. 17-10. And for some reason, the scoreboard didn't update. I apologize. Shot by Holdhouse, no good. A rebound by Noah Lunt. I think Noah Lunt is the only player on the Raiders squad to not have sat down yet. I haven't kept real close track to that, but that was Ginnenbacher giving it up top to Lunt. He's going to go to Allensworth with 2:36 remaining in the first half. Sure to share the stream if you would. Like it. Subscribe to the channel. Lunt nearly had it knocked away from behind. Klauser has it. He's going to drive. Is Ginnenbacher, and he's going to draw the foul. The Bombers will have foul number 3. Drew Watson's going to pick up his first foul. Team's third. The Bombers have 5 fouls, all by different people. Ginnenbacher, a couple free throws here, hits the first.
Macomb's been stuck on 10 for a long time.
Yes. Since early in the quarter when Dion Doyle scored. Second one is good as well. 19-10. The Bombers down by 9. They've been outscored 9-2 here in quarter number 2. It's not like they haven't had good looks. They've had some really good looks. They just can't get the basketball to go in the basket.
Very true. Sometimes it unfortunately kind of goes that way.
Ian Case guarded by Meyer. Down the corner to Conley. Conley's so quick. Hobson, near side Holdhouse. Dion Doyle on the bench for the Bombers. Watson with it. Gives it off to Hobson, right side Conley, 1:45 remaining. Conley, pull-up jumper, free throw line off, no good. Watson had a hand on it, couldn't control it. Picked up by Dance, and back the other way it goes. And that's Case with a steal. Watson now. Conley, layup, good. Bombers finally get back on the scoreboard as Conley gets his first 2. And that's kicked away. Watson's going to come up with it. Pulls up, puts up left-handed, and it's good. The Bombers on a 4-0 run. 19-14. 1:05 remaining in the first half. Meyer has his pass from Knoyer. To Knoyer, knocked away. Holdhouse with it. 55 seconds remaining. Holdhouse to Watson. He's going to drive. Puts the floater up. They call the charge. As Meyer gets the charge call on Drew Watson. That's his second, team's 4th. It's a non-shooting foul even if they were in the bonus. Watson's going to come out. And a whole line change, essentially. 4 players in for the Raiders. Klauser, Dance, Lunt, who had went out for the first time. Timeout on the floor, charge to the Raiders. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here. They sent a bunch of players in, and Coach is talking to Ginnenbacher over there. Sent a bunch of players in, and it really seemed like they were maybe out of their normal flow were the Raiders, and they didn't know who should be doing what. Coach wanted a timeout just to say, hey, this is how things are supposed to work.
If you're going to do that, just call the timeout in the first place.
Yeah.
Before you go to inbound the ball and say, oh, timeout.
Yeah. I'm guessing that he expected them to know what they were supposed to do, but the kids did not appear to know where they were supposed to go or what they were supposed to do. He's having a pretty good conversation over there with J.D. Beal right now.
Everybody has good conversations with J.D. Beal.
Kevin Meyer, the head coach, talking to J.D. Beal. Dance with it. That might be the worst 3 I've ever seen in my life. That is a 3, right? They don't have an 8, so I'm going to say that's the 3.
Yeah.
Down low. Hobson down there playing good defense for the Bombers. Allensworth with it. They're waiting for one shot here. 15 seconds remaining. Dance with it. Left side. Ginnenbacher. Allensworth back to Dance. Ginnenbacher now 3 seconds. Dance, good look at a 3. It's off, no good. Rebound, that's no good if it does go. At the end of the first half of play, the Bombers make a little run at the end to close within 5. It's 19-14 Raiders at the end of 2 quarters of play. We'll take a break and hear a special interview from MDH at the half. You're watching Arnold Brothers Heating and Cooling coverage of Macomb High Sports on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
At Western Illinois University, leathernecks don't just blend in. Our purple stands out. Our students are innovative, creative, and resilient. At WIU, there is limitless potential, with campuses in Macomb, the Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a leatherneck and get an education that stands out.
As you know, MDH is our title sponsor here on TSSR Game Time Live, and we're here with Lindsay Douglas, the Director of Physician and Provider Recruitment. I about left out provider out of that. So physician and provider recruitment here at MDH. It's a huge mouthful for me, so explain to us what that is.
Sure. So I am in charge of bringing in candidates for both physician and provider positions here at MDH. So provider meaning anything like nurse practitioner, advanced practice nurse practitioner, physician assistant, things like that. So I source those candidates, bring them in, and try to find the best providers and physicians to provide care at our facility.
So you found a home at MDH. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? How long have you been here? Stuff like that.
So I am from Macomb originally. I graduated from Macomb High in 2009, graduated from WIU in 2014, studied communication there, and started my career in politics and worked for a couple different state representatives and state senators. Then found myself in the educational realm for a little while at the Regional Office of Education, and eventually found myself here at MDH. I started here in February of this past year. I started out as patient advocate, and this role opened up, and I'm now in the role of Director of Physician and Provider Recruitment.
Obviously, McDonough District Hospital, very important to Macomb.
Sure.
And it's the communities not only of Macomb, but Bushnell, Colchester, Blandonsville, Industry. You're from here. So what was it that drew you back here and got you to stay here at MDH?
So MDH is like home to me. I am a fourth generation MDH employee. So my great grandma Nancy Weaver was one of the first nurses that they hired when the hospital opened in 1958. My grandma started working here maybe 10 to 15 years after that. She started as a CNA on acute care, and then she worked in peds, and eventually she worked as the unit secretary for home health and hospice, and she retired from that position after being at MDH for a total of 50 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah. My mom is here as an administrative secretary. She's Brian's administrative assistant. And so I'm now here as a fourth generation employee of the hospital. So it was kind of a thing where I always thought I might end up at MDH just because of that family legacy of working in healthcare.
So before we came on camera, I heard a story. You guys were at a speaker recently, and you got to be there with your mom.
Yeah.
Does that make it really special to be a part of MDH, to still have your mom working here?
It's so cool. My mom is down the hall from me. So if I need something in the middle of the day, I can run down the hall and grab her. But it's also just cool to think about like the legacy that leaves in the community, especially being fourth generation and female. I think that's just a really special thing for my family and for this community here.
So as we look at those kind of, you have a personal connection here. How do you use those personal connections when you're out trying to recruit a physician or a provider?
Sure. So I use the story a lot of my office, actually. So I'm in room 318, which was a room for patients at one time, and now they've converted it into an office space. And one of my favorite stories to tell physicians is that my great grandma was sick in the hospital and was in that room, and that's where my grandma was recruited to join MDH. So my grandma had no plans of working in healthcare, but she was taking care of her mom as a sick patient, and the nurse at the time came to her and was like, "You are such a great caretaker. Why are you not a nurse? Why are you not doing this as your full-time occupation?" And so my grandma decided that healthcare would be her lifetime and like 50 years. And so she started working for MDH and was recruited right out of my office. So I just find that to be a really special connection when I'm looking to bring people to this community. Like, the recruitment started in this office 50 years ago, and here I am starting a whole new legacy of recruiting people. And I just am so passionate about this community, and I just love living here. I moved back here from Quincy, chose to raise our family here, just because we really love Macomb, and we really love being in McDonough County.
So obviously the personal touch, you got the great personal story. You love Macomb. What does MDH offer to the providers and the physicians? What's the sales point for you on the professional level?
So because we're a small rural healthcare organization, your voice is heard here much louder than when you're in a large organization. So when you're in one of those larger hospital systems, you might be one of 15 to 20 providers in a specialty. At MDH, you might be one of 2, you might be one of 1. And so your voice in that medical staff office is going to be the loudest one in the room about your specialty. And that's a really unique situation for a physician to be, the main voice for speaking for pediatrics or for speaking for orthopedics or whatever that specialty is. You're it. You're the guy. You're the one providing the care for the whole community. And you don't get that if you go to a large healthcare organization.
So those bonuses are probably obstacles in some cases as well.
Sure.
So how do you overcome those obstacles?
It really depends on the provider. If someone is really wanting to be in a place where they're just in the background, they don't want to be that main voice, I kind of have to tell them, this is unique. It's a unique community where you're going to go out into Walmart to get your groceries and run into one of your patients, and you're not going to find that everywhere. And that might be scary for you, thinking about, well, I don't want to mess somebody's care up and then run into them and have to explain it to all of Walmart. But it's just, you can also sell that as you're not going to go to Chicago and work somewhere where you're going to run into your patients every day.
Well, Lindsay, I appreciate you coming and talking to us today. Hopefully some people can understand more about MDH and how it's such a family-oriented business and so important to McDonough County and the surrounding area. Keep doing a good job, and maybe your little girl that wanted that 100 chicken nuggets can be the next generation to join MDH.
Exactly.
Well, we'll be back after halftime here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
I would have to say that is the most rewarding part of what I do, making a difference in people's lives, taking care of the women from puberty on through postmenopausal stages and seeing them go through the phases and stages of life.
I see acute injuries on the field. I see ankle sprains. I see ACL knee injuries, as well as in the clinic. It's very rewarding to see them from on-the-field injury to rehab to transition back to their event.
At Western Illinois University, leathernecks don't just blend in. Our purple stands out. Our students are innovative, creative, and resilient. At WIU, there's limitless potential, with campuses in Macomb, the Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a leatherneck and get an education that stands out.
And welcome back to Macomb High School as Arnold Brothers Heating and Cooling brings Bomber Sports to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. I'm Dwayne Hulett. Shelby Burgett is alongside, and I don't know what I expected, but 19-14 at the half is not what it was.
Maybe not quite 19-14, but I just really thought both these teams were probably going to be pretty solid defensively, and they are. I thought maybe there'd be a few more points, but I'm not totally surprised by the quote-unquote lower score at the half.
A game-high 7 points for Jace Allensworth, 4 points for Aiden Gittenbacher, 2 points for Alex Dance, 4 points for Aiden Klauser, 2 points for Jackson Canoyer. The Raiders are 2 for 3 from the charity stripe. Ginenbacher's 2 for 2. Clouser's 0 for 1. The Bombers are led by 6 points by Dion Doyle. 2 points for Drew Watson, 4 points for Malachi Conley. Or actually, that's 2 points for Malachi Conley. Excuse me, I can't add. I don't know what I was trying to add points together there. 2 points for Conley, 2 points for Holthouse, and 2 points for Hobson. That doesn't equal enough points. 2, 4, 6, 8, 14. Yeah, it does. I can't do math either. 14 points.
14.
6 for Doyle. He's a long ways off the 100 that you said if he scored like that all night, he'd score 100.
Well, after that first look, obviously they did a lot better job of, closing things down inside. And I really think there were times where maybe he was open and they didn't get him the ball. So I think a little bit of both there. But I think we knew Q&D was going to come in playing defense, and they've done that to this point.
So the Bombers have the basketball to start the third quarter of play. Watson with it, left side Conley. Conley gives it off to Holthouse. Holthouse to Ian Case. Look down to Doyle, couldn't get it there. Watson's going to drive, puts up the shot, rolls it off the front of the rim and over and in.
I think the Bombers are going to look more to do that on the drive, and then if they start
collapsing.
Q&D starts collapsing up for the drive, then that's when you get the ball to the big guys.
They start coming off to help. Clouser picked up by Doyle. This is Dance. And they just hit heads, did Conley and Alex Dance, and Dance is down, and that was a hard hit right to the eyebrow of Conley, and the side or back of the head as Conley's going to pick up the foul. It's his second. And I don't know that that was really a foul as much as it was just two people coming together.
Yeah, that couldn't have felt very good for either one of those gentlemen.
No, not at all. Dance is going to inbound it here. J.D. Beal asking him again if he's okay.
In football, that's a 15-yard penalty. Even helmet to helmet.
Leading with your head, right? Dance turnaround jumper off, no good. Conley. Now that's funny. Dance comes in, gets the ball back, puts up the shot, and Conley got the rebound. The two guys that butted heads are the two that had to play. Conley down low. Tries to get it to Doyle, comes out to Watson. Watson pull-up jumper, off no good. A rebound to the Raiders, and Lunt brings it up the floor. He's going to go right side. That's Ginenbacher, I believe. Nope, it's Dance coming to Ginenbacher. His shot is good. It's a three-pointer for Aiden Ginenbacher.
It's a nice job driving inside.
Holthouse has 4 now.
And that was every bit as a good job, too, of finding the open man.
Oh, Clouser, what a cut to the basket for Aiden Clouser. And suddenly the offense has picked up a little bit.
Yeah, I think both coaches have made some adjustments at halftime, and I think we're starting to see that a little bit, the end result.
Watson going to drive again. He'll put the shot up off and in. Bombers had some cuts to the basket. They didn't finish in the first half. Now Ginenbacher's going to try and drive on Watson. We talked about there in the second quarter, especially if they could just get some shots to fall, they'd have been. They're going to call an offensive foul on Aiden Ginenbacher, his first, team's first of the second half. Both teams have one here in the third quarter. Holthouse brings it in. Conley with it. Once again, hop in that live chat. Tell us where you're watching from and who you're cheering for. Left side, Ian Case. Pull-up jumper, left elbow. Off back of the rim, no good. Doyle with the rebound. His turnaround jumper, short. Tipped around, picked up by Allensworth. Outletted to Ginenbacher, across to Lunt. Lunt puts up, nope, I thought he was going to put the shot up. He did not. And the Raiders back it back out as we approach the 5-minute mark here of quarter number. And they're going to call Dance for an offensive foul. And that's a good call because it happened right in front of us, and he did just give that little shoulder shove, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did.
You don't see that called very often. It's only his second. Nobody has more than 2 fouls. Bombers have Drew Watson and Malachi Conley with 2. And Alex Dance now has 2, but that's it. There's not a lot of fouls been called in this one, not a lot of free throws shot either. Down to Doyle from Case, turnaround jumper good. Doyle's got 8. Bombers have cut it to a 2-point game. They have picked up the, a lot of times you talk about intensity being picked up on a defensive end. Maybe they've done that a little, but it feels like the offensive intensity has been picked up a lot.
I think you're right on that. And I think sometimes when you pick up that defensive intensity, it'll feed into that on the other end as well.
Doyle's going to pick up his second foul, team foul number 2 of the quarter. Allensworth is going to go to the free throw line to shoot a couple for the Raiders. First one is good. Jake Hobson checking in for the Bombers. Bozarth checking in for the and Eftink. Bosserth checking in for the Raiders, as is Eftink. Dance and Ginnenbacher take a seat. Allensworth hits the second as well. They are perfect from the charity stripe. Conley with it, gives it to Holdhouse, and he'll push it up the near side. He'll put up the 3, it's short. Watson was there to get it. Clouser on him, tries to give it to Doyle. It's going to roll out to Holdhouse, and the intensity may be turning into some sloppiness now for the Bombers. Watson's going to drive, puts the runner up, off no good. Doyle had a hand on it, but it's Allensworth, or Eftink, who came down. Oh, what a move by Allensworth. Hesitation, and then a Euro step.
Oh, the Euro step.
That was a travel when I played.
It was definitely a travel when I played.
Of course, I couldn't have done it even if it wasn't a travel. Watson drives again, dumps it down to Doyle. His shot's off, no good. Rebound brought back by Clouser. He gives it off to Eftink. Allensworth comes to Bozarth. 3 on the way by Allensworth. He's kind of feeling it. Missed that one. And Meyer, who's in the game, is going to pick up the foul. And you talk about silly fouls, and that ranks right up there with him.
Yes, it does.
Meyer picks up his first. You hate those fouls because they're 80 feet from the basket. And the Bombers take a timeout. It's a 30-second timeout. It'll be their second timeout of the game, I do believe, according to my stats. It is the second off the board up there as well. I mean, I guess they haven't scored a ton of points more, but we've still got several minutes left in the quarter here, I think, and the offense on both ends of the floor is picked up.
Yes. It almost feels like I don't know, to me it almost feels like the tempo's picked up a little bit. And I mean, maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. But to me it kind of seems like Q&D's kind of sped things up a little bit and, getting down the floor a little quicker on offense. And Macomb trying to be more aggressive with Drew driving to the basket. But yet, here we are, it's a 6-point game.
Yeah, it was down to 2. The Raiders have rolled off 4 straight to open it back to a 6-point contest. Holdhouse will take it back for the Bombers across half court. Holdhouse drives. Layup off, no good, but he's going to be fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. 2:49 remaining. That's the 4th foul on the Raiders. That's Jackson Knoyer picking up the foul. His second, team 4th. And Braden Holdhouse to shoot a couple here. (28-22). First one is good. Dance comes in, and Bishop comes in. That's the second time in this game that threes have come in together. I remember odd things. Holdhouse hits the second. The Bombers remain perfect from the free throw line at 4 for 4.
So you could say it was a 3-for-all.
Ha, ha, ha. 3 for all. That is correct. I saw what you did there. Watson nearly had a steal, lost it out of bounds. Inbounding now for the Raiders was Dance. He got it to Bozarth. Now back to Dance. He's going to drive on Holdhouse. Up top, Canoyer. Out to Dance. 2:35 remaining. Bombers into bonus the rest of the way. Bishop, a steal. He's going to get called for how's that not a travel? Watson comes up with it. Holdhouse has it. Down to Hobson. Shots up and in for Hobson from Holdhouse.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that is not called the travel.
He slid about 10 feet.
As Dizzy Dean would say, he kind of slid his way in there.
2:05. Dance looks at the 3, doesn't take it. Drives on Holdhouse. And Meyer has got in the face. He's like, I feel like Meyer is the enforcer of a hockey team on this Raiders squad.
Almost kind of maybe like a Dennis Rodman type maybe for basketball, you know.
Wants to be anyway, yes. I don't think he's quite the rebounder that Rodman is or could be, but I could be wrong. Dance at the free throw line, hits the first.
Probably not quite the hairstyle either.
No, definitely not the hairstyle. Meyer leaves. Checking in is Gavin Dolman. Second one's off, no good. 29-26, Bombers down by 1 possession. Watson throws it up and in. He went in trying to draw contact, didn't get the contact, but he got the bucket. The Bombers are down by 1. Bozarth with it. Comes up to Dolman, right side Ginnenbacher. Now it's going to be Dance with it. He's going to look to Canoyer, top of the key. He's going to bring it Dolman, near side. Those two both played in the Fresh Soft contest. There's Bozarth, Ginnenbacher. Right side, Dance with it. 1:30 remaining. Third quarter. Dance with it. Still. Dolman. Oh, that was almost a travel. That was like the slowest half step you'll ever see in your life right there, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Ginnenbacher. Bozarth. And they're content to just run the clock down here. 1 minute remaining in the third quarter. This won't happen at the Holiday Tournament. That goes off of a Bomber. Conley checks in. Watson takes a seat, and he should get a round of applause as he leaves the floor. He's been a huge part of this comeback for the Bombers. Dance to inbound.
Been aggressive as far as offensively taking the ball to the basket.
Ginnenbacher off, no good, and Bishop just gave him, and Case chased that and lost it, went through his hands, and he couldn't track it down in time. There's Canoyer. Whew.
Everybody's starting to get fired up.
Yeah. Conley picks up his third foul, team fourth. Dance up here to inbound. Ginnenbacher. Bishop, Bishop earned that one. That's team foul number 5, and that's going to send Ginnenbacher to the free throw line.
With a Q&D holding for a last shot, though, suddenly bing, 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 ping pong match.
Yeah, first free throw that the Ginnenbacher's taken, off no good.
I believe they missed their last 2, haven't they?
They have, you're right. He ends that streak, though. So with 2 minutes to go, the Bombers had forced the Raiders into 4 fouls. The Bombers only had 3, and somehow the Raiders are the ones that shoot the bonus free throws here in the quarter. 24 seconds remaining. Hobson goes down to Case. Out to Holdhouse, left side. Bishop to Case. Fading away again, off no good. But he had it on the block. and wouldn't take the shot, and then he faded away from 10 feet for that one and couldn't get it to fall. Bozarth around Bishop and gets the bucket to fall. Tyler Bozarth. That was off, barely, no good. At the end of 3 quarters of play, the Bombers trail the Raiders by 4, 32-28. They had trailed by 5 at the end of the second quarter. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, right after this.
After my appointment that day, I just made up my mind that I'm going to have my baby here in Macomb and this hospital, because irrespective of where you're from, who you are, it's just their line of duty to make sure they give care, make you comfortable.
I told them about the staff of MDH. You know, they're all good. You get all the support you need. This is just the best place for you and your family.
Arnold Brothers Heating and Cooling bringing you Bomber Sports here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. Welcome back to Macomb High School. Fourth quarter getting ready to come your way, a 4-point game. It's been a good one. And I don't think, Shelby, there's any reason to believe it won't be good the rest of the way.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement.
Bombers just 4 for 4 from the free throw line, as it will be Raiders basketball to start the fourth quarter. Six of 9 for the Raiders. Finger roll up off, no good for Klauser, who we didn't call his name a lot in the last part of the quarter of the third variety. Holdhouse with it. He'll come up top to Case. Left side Watson, who scored 6 points there in the third quarter. And Ginnenbacher is going to pick up a cheap one out near the half-court line. And it'll be his first of the quarter for the Raiders. Hand checking he was, but man, you don't want to see that foul that far away from the basket.
No.
Holdhouse. Conley with it. Doyle. Watson. Still Watson now as he got it back from Conley. He'll give it to Doyle. Doyle looked, pulled up, gave it off to Holdhouse. Holdhouse drives, gets the layup up and in. Braden Holdhouse.
Yeah, I think the Bombers are going to need to have more than Watson drive to the basket. Some of these other guys are going to have to start trying to find their way offensively and get some shots and get some baskets.
Klauser with it, going to come to Allensworth. Reverse layup by by Ginnenbacher's off, no good. The Bombers with a chance to tie now. Ian Case with it. Skips it across to Conley. Conley resets the offense. He's going to try and drive the baseline. Kicks it out to Holdhouse. Corner to Watson, and he'll reset things. Now he's going to try and drive. Comes over far side, Holdhouse, Conley. Holdhouse. He'll put up the three. Off, no good. Tipped, and they're going to call Ian Case for the foul. It'll be second foul on Ian Case, his second, team's first of the fourth quarter. A lot of timeouts left in this one in a close game. We could be here a while for this fourth quarter.
Could be ending up like an NBA game where it takes a half hour to play the last 2 minutes.
That's very possible. Klauser to inbound. Doyle had to tie his shoe, so we had to take our first timeout for the official timeout to tie a shoe. Klauser brings it up as we approach the 6-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. Allensworth with it. Comes over to Lunt. Lunt has it tipped away from behind by Case. Out of bounds. It'll stay with the Raiders. 5:57 remaining.
Good play by Case, because I think he got beat off the dribble there, so he got his hand in there and poked the ball away.
Two and get it in. Allensworth with it. Dance. Lunt. Ginnebacher over to Dance. Klauser. Bombers defense is good enough to not give up very good looks here, but it's just not good enough to get in the passing lane to steal the ball away. That was an opportunity. Conley just couldn't react quite quick enough. 5:25. Dance is going to drive, misses. Rebound by Doyle. He'll push it back the other way. Doyle's going to go to the lane. His shot up short. Fading away, going the wrong direction. Fading left, throwing up with the right. He couldn't get it to fall. 5:05 left. This Case nearly got a steal. Ginnebacher gives it off to Lunt. Allensworth has it knocked away on the pass from Lunt by Holdhouse out of bounds. 5 minutes on the clock. Sub coming in. Bishop replaces Malachi Conley. Dance to inbound. Gets it into Lunt. Lunt misses but gets his own rebound. He gives it out to Dance. Good ball movement by the Raiders, though. That's part of the reason why they move the ball so quickly you don't have time to react to the passing lane.
That's why you always hear coaches, move the ball, pass the ball. If you're a stationary target, then you're easier to guard that way, and everything gets stagnant. There's good moves to the basket.
Can't finish. Bishop with the rebound. Watson goes back the other way. He puts the reverse layup off. It's no good. Doyle with the rebound and the putback. And the Bombers have tied it at 32.
Should we expected nothing less?
Klauser. Allensworth spins on Holdhouse, and he drops one up and over.
Nice shot. Nice move on that nice little spin and good shot.
Allensworth has 13. And the Raiders retake the lead. This doesn't feel like a 19-14 halftime game, does it? Case has got to shoot that ball, but he gives it to Doyle, who misses. Case had an open 10-foot jumper and wouldn't take it. 3:30 remaining.
Case they're being a little too unselfish.
Steal by Ian Case. He hesitates and has it knocked away out of bounds. It goes off of Case. Holdhouse takes a quick break. Conley comes back in. So it's Case, Conley, Bishop, Doyle, and Watson on the floor for the Bombers. It's Allensworth. Ginnebacher, and Allensworth threw that one away. He threw the zig, and Ginnebacher went the zag. Timeout on the floor, charge to the Raiders. It's a full timeout, 3:17 remaining. Bombers trail by 2. This game being brought to you by Midwest Ice. Do you need ice for an upcoming event? Look no further. Midwest Ice has you covered. Midwest Ice is Central Illinois' newest ice delivery service. We deliver ice directly to your event. Call Blaine Wrench at 309-351-8192 for a quote today. And Sports Corner at 124, Macomb's original local sports bar. Sports Corner at 124 with a focus on local sports. Catch WIU games and all the TSSR Game Time live broadcasts at Sports Corner at 124. And hopefully got some folks there watching today. Man, they have some good wings on Wednesday night. The Ugly Steak that used to be at the Red Ox is there on Thursday nights. They have some good food in there. We go there every Monday for the Macomb Downtown Athletic Club.
Yes, we do.
That's always a good time, getting to hear all the area, not the area, but the local coaches, the Macomb and Western coaches come and talk. And usually see or hear something from Steve Horrell and Paul Bubb from the ADs from Western and Macomb. So if you're a sports fan, that's something you ought to check out. Be a part of the Macomb Downtown Athletic Club. 34-32, Watson. Ginnebacher had a handful of jersey. Did you see that? I don't know if you could tell it on the camera or not. Then a steal. Klauser takes it back the other way. Bishop, man, he was hammering in there. And it's going to go off of Bozarth out of bounds. It's funny how certain places or certain times they let them play and certain times they call stuff. You ever notice that? It's hard to be an official. Don't get me wrong. It really is. But it's just weird how the ebb and flow of a game kind of changes a little bit.
It does, and I mean, these last 3 minutes, my advice to everybody would be just buckle up.
Yeah, it's going to get exciting. Oh, wide open lane up, and Watson can't finish, but Doyle can, and we're tied at 34. Doyle's got 4 in the quarter. Oh, nice cut. Conley is going to get the foul, and I'm not sure why he's surprised he got that foul because it was pretty obvious. Jackson Canoyer went to the rack on a great move without the basketball.
Yeah, great cut. Great move without the basketball, and, Macomb's kind of fortunate he wasn't able to finish that for the end one.
Yes says watching from Texas as goes Bombers. Elijah Keck, thanks for joining us. First one is good by the sophomore Canoyer. Second one is as well. A good one here, 36-34, 2:15 remaining. Watson is going to get around number 30, John Dam, who's in the game. Dam is all up in Watson's face. And they call a
block.
I was expecting that to be a 5-second violation, in all honesty. It's only the team's second. Both teams have 2 fouls here in the fourth quarter. Watson will inbound. Holdhouse comes back in. Bishop takes a seat. The Bombers down by 2, 36-34 after a pair of free throws off the hands of Jackson Canoyer. Holdhouse fresh legs with 2 minutes to go in a basketball game. Case with it. Goes to Holdhouse. Bombers do not have a Sports Corner 3 here in the basketball game as of yet. Conley wants one. It's short. And there is no Bombers on the far side to catch that ball when it hit the floor. And it'll be the lead by 2 and the basketball for the Raiders with 1:36 remaining. Clouser goes right side to Allensworth. And they don't have to shoot here. Is Dam with it. Allensworth gives it off to, and a steal by Case as Canoyer went, and now a steal by Allensworth. He'll get the layup to fall. 38-34. Raiders with the lead. Watson. Canoyer, who is a little overexcitable sometimes, picks up his 3rd foul, and that's a silly one as well. That's the 3rd.
Okay.
Inbounding for the Bombers. Watson with it down low. Clears some space. It's blocked. Gets it back. Doyle. He's going to pull up right elbow jumper. Good for Dion Doyle. He is an all-around player, is Doyle. He has got good range for a quote-unquote big.
Yes, he does.
Though he is only 6'5", that's a guard if you're at Western. Ginnenbacher back out. Clouser, 38 seconds left. Ginnenbacher. Bombers are going to have to foul. They got fouls to give here. They've got to give 2 fouls before they can even get a chance to get the ball back. There's the first one by Doyle.
I think that still catches some of these teams a little by surprise. They're saying, it would be back in the day if you foul, you'd send them in the line. Well, now with the 5 rule, no, you don't if you only got less than 5 fouls.
Now Holdhouse and Allensworth, and Watson's going to pick up another foul. That's his 3rd. Now they will be getting them to the free throw line. Coach Anderson says, get on it. 27.8 seconds left. And it's knocked away by Conley. Back the other way. Layup, good, and we're tied at 38. And on the floor is Conley. Timeout. Bombers. No, they don't give it to him. Oh, my goodness.
It's a jump, but it's a Bombers ball on the possession.
Bombers ball on the jump ball, but how they didn't give him the timeout, I don't know. Conley got the bucket. We're tied at 38 with 28 seconds remaining. With 20 seconds remaining, now we're down to 15.2. It's a full timeout charged to the Bombers. They'll have 2 remaining. 3 timeouts remaining for the Raiders. And the last 30 minutes the last 2 minutes might not take 30, but overtime might take an extra 4 or 5.
It very well might. It's, just Conley on that play, just that to get the score and then, back on defense to make the play there again to force the tie out. It's all right, Dwayne, you're the coach. What do you do here?
Well, I mean, you just have to play defense. I mean, what else can you do? Now, if you were at Bushnell and this exact scenario with Illini Bluffs and West Hancock, Coach Vass from Illini Bluffs came out and fouled. If he was the Raiders, West Hancock had the ball, he came out and fouled, sent them to the free throw line. But the problem is the Raiders still have a foul to give. 15.2 seconds, they'll have to pretty much play and hope the Bombers can't hit a game winner here. Holdhouse down to Case. 5 seconds. He spins. Kicks it out. Watson, 2, 1. Fade away. 3. No good. We're going to overtime.
Free basketball for everybody.
Sports Corner's live and watching. The drinks aren't free at Sports Corner, but we got some free basketball for you at the Sports Corner. And Blake Driscoll says, let's go. Tanner Scott, this is better than watching the Seahawks game.
Oh, ouch, babe.
Tanner Scott, man, he's railing on you a little bit there, Shel.
Oh, you know what? What can I say? Lost 3 in a row, man.
Yeah, well, you'll have that.
I had a new Seahawks sweatshirt that I just got in the mail.
Yesterday, right? Or day before yesterday?
Day before yesterday, and I wore it last night. And I had somebody, I was in Bushnell last night for their game, and I had somebody come up to me wanting to know, why was I a Seahawks fan? How did that all start? And gave me all that story. And, I'm just a strange bird. But, yes, all right. Now, as we were saying about this game, are we surprised?
No.
38-38 overtime.
No, this is more like that second half, I think, was more what I expected.
Yeah, I think the first half maybe was more or less kind of a feeling out process. And, props to Q&D because they had a tough game last night against Sacred Heart, losing by 2. So, to come out and expend effort again, props to them for playing hard. And, it was a good game, fun to watch.
Jump ball to start the overtime. Each team adds a timeout. Oh, stolen away by Klauser. No, Watson's going to get it back. The Bombers have just came back so many times down the stretch of this thing. One time you feel like if the Raiders score, it might be the end of that comeback ability. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. But then at some point, you got to hope it, expending all that energy to try to come back doesn't leave you gas tank empty at the end.
Watson on the dribble. Tyler Cummings. 3 on the way by Holdhouse. Off no good. Case with the rebound, and he leaves it short. Rebound for Klauser. Tyler Cummings says, my palms are sweaty. My weak arms are heavy. Come on, Bombers. I think he's feeling his inner Eminem right there, but I'm not real sure. Allensworth, 2:53 to go here in overtime number 1. I got to switch that. Bombers have 4 fouls. Down low, Klauser's blocked by Doyle. It goes off of Klauser, out of bounds. Bomber basketball. And oddly enough, since the fouls don't reset, Shelb, the Raiders still have a foul to give.
Yes, they do. That might come very well in handy at some point.
Yeah, it could come in handy. Oh, and Watson has it tipped away by Ginnenbacher, gathers it back up. Look at that handful of jersey, and there they just waste that foul to give because Ginnenbacher, right in front of the official, grabbed a handful of jersey, and I have no idea why he would think that he'd get away with that in an open court like that. They called that on Knoyer. No, I was going to say that's not on. They're going to call that on Ginnenbacher, I'm sure. That's got to be on Ginnenbacher, not on Knoyer. It's on number 2. Yeah, I was going to say, there's no way. Yeah, I was going to say, there's no way that could be on Knoyer.
If they would have left that call like that, there would have been some people over on the far side not very happy.
Well, there might have been some people on the near side not happy if it would have given Ginnenbacher another foul. Holdhouse drives. We haven't scored anybody on the overtime session yet. Holdhouse with it. 2:10 remaining in the first overtime. Down low to Doyle. Doyle wants the first 2. He's got it. The Bombers have their first lead of the game. No, they led briefly earlier, didn't they?
I believe so, yes.
Doyle's got 16. And a block for Dion Doyle.
Nice defense there by Doyle. Just went straight up and made the block, then got the ball.
Conley, guarded by Allensworth, gets it across half court. 1:35 remaining. Doyle with it. Now the Bombers don't have to score. Ginnenbacher is going to pick up his 4th. And that is the reason why I said that foul is important, because they don't want to lose Ginnenbacher, and he would have gotten an extra foul if they hadn't have called that. Bonus, Drew Watson's going to be shooting the double bonus here. Oh, wrong quarter or wrong overtime. First one, good. Bombers have their largest lead of the game at 3. Second one is good for the Bombers. 42-38, Connor Bishop comes in. Malachi Conley with 4 fouls takes the seat. They'll want him on the offensive end of the floor. Probably see some, if they get the opportunity, some offensive, defensive substitutions here, right?
I would guess so, yes.
Dance with it. They can't waste a whole lot of time here. They want to gain some possessions, down by 4. Ginnenbacher to Dance, and the Bombers are in a zone. Klauser gets it across to Ginnenbacher for 3. It's good.
That's at least the second time I remember them running that play to get the open guy in the corner for a 3.
Now into the corner it goes to Case. He comes to Holdhouse. Under a minute to go now. Bombers up by 1. And a timeout on the floor, charged to Macomb. It's a full timeout for the Bombers. They'll have 2 timeouts remaining, I do believe. They should have got an extra one, but the board says 1, so we'll leave it at 1. And the Raiders say they only have 3. So, Bombers up by 1, under a minute remaining. 42-41. Coach Anderson probably wanting to reset the mindset, right? That as now the cheerleaders may not be fighting, but they are battling a little bit here, aren't they?
There you go. I've been waiting for the energy to pick. It seems like the energy tonight has been really on the download tonight. I mean, even from the student section, it's been pretty quiet. Now
Yeah, definitely. And it's definitely, intensity level is on point now.
Yeah.
Malachi Conley comes back in. That's the benefit of the timeout too, right?
Yes, absolutely. Macomb can still afford to be patient here. Imagine if they can get, if they can get Doyle loose on the inside, or maybe even have Watson on a drive or Holthouse do his thing. They can do that. Now, JD's talking to everybody, saying give everybody space and
don't do anything silly. Now they're still going at it. If somebody's doing something, there's a foul there, right? What are we calling? I think it's going to be on Allensworth. Dom is going to pick up the foul. It's his second. Braden Holthouse shooting a couple free throws here. Braden Holthouse. First one is good. Bombers back up by 2. Wrong scoreboard. Don't do that. I'll get everybody all discombobulated. Dance back in for the offense. Bishop's going to come back in for defense. Holthouse hits them both. Bombers back up by 3. Ginnenbacher. 50 seconds remaining. Dance has it. Allensworth. Klauser. Ginnenbacher. 43 seconds left. Allensworth with it again. Tried to get it to Dance, couldn't do it. Watson, good defense. Doyle almost wanted to get in the passing lane, couldn't quite get there. Timeout, QND. 33.6 seconds remaining. 32nd timeout. 33.6 in OT left here. 32nd timeout. Bombers up 44-41. They trailed the vast majority of this game. I think they led briefly at maybe 12-10 is where they led at, I believe. And then tied it, or maybe they tied it at 12. I can't remember which way that was. I think they led 12-10. That was the only time they led, and they've just trailed, and they kept inching back, and they had so many opportunities that you and I talked about at the start of this overtime and at the end of regulation that one of the two teams is going to run out of luck, right? I mean, the Bombers have been there so many times, had so many chances, they've had to come back. Is that going to stop, or is it going to stop for the Raiders? And right now, the Bombers are on the right side of that thought.
Yeah, and I'm sure Q&D probably feels, too. They had a lot of chances to, kind of expand the lead a little bit and weren't able to do that. And they're going to have to rue the day on that.
25 seconds, Allensworth with it. Down by 3. They only need a 3. Only, I say. With a whole lot of white jersey in your face. Now the Bombers, who went to a zone earlier, are guarding everything outside the three-point line. And a steal by Holthouse. Can he dunk it? He won't. He'll get the layup, and the Bombers are up by 5. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Allensworth puts up a shot. It'll count if it goes. It does, but it does not matter. The Bombers get the 46-43 win. They put a 3-point up for that, but it was only a 2, right?
Yeah, no, I believe it was a 3.
They called it a 3?
The one official signaled a 3, so.
Well, he shot it from clear in there.
I'm just telling you what he signaled, Dwayne.
Well.
Don't shoot the messenger here now.
It doesn't matter either way, does it?
Exactly.
Doesn't matter either way. Couple threes. We'll take a break. I got to catch my breath. We'll take a break. We'll have Coach Anderson on in a little bit, hopefully. And I will do some stats. Bombers overtime win over QND 46-44. We'll be back as Arnold Brothers Heating and Cooling has brought Bomber Sports to TSSR Game Time Live. We'll be back with stats right after this.
I went through MDH when we were trying to get pregnant. We were struggling the first year, and then when we got pregnant, I stayed at MDH and through labor and now for pediatrics. My experience was nothing short of phenomenal. I was met with amazing staff members who helped me through concerns that I had when she was first born, helping me learn how to be a new mom. It was really reassuring and comforting knowing that I had so much support and kindness around me. My entire pregnancy at MDH was amazing.
MTC Communications is building a high-speed fiber network in our community, and we're putting priority on the areas with the greatest interest. That means we need your input to let us know you want us to build fiber in your area first. Experience the speed and convenience of fiber internet by visiting our special website and registering. Let us know you want fiber internet today and make your voice heard.
I chose the MDH OBGYN group because I've heard wonderful things about Dr. Smith. And upon entering the office, I really got along with everybody and got a warm feeling. The staff is warm and inviting and welcoming. It's a small community, so it's a really nice hospital to have here in the rural area. I continue to choose MDH because of the relationships I have. I really enjoy everybody here.
At Western Illinois University, leathernecks don't just blend in. Our purple stands out. Our students are innovative, creative, and resilient. At WIU, there's limitless potential, with campuses in Macomb, the Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a leatherneck and get an education that stands out.
I went through MDH when we were trying to get pregnant. We were struggling the first year, and then when we got pregnant, I stayed at MDH and through labor and now for pediatrics. My experience was nothing short of phenomenal. I was met with amazing staff members who helped me through concerns that I had when she was first born, helping me learn how to be a new mom. It was really reassuring and comforting knowing that I had so much support and kindness around me. My entire pregnancy at MDH was amazing.
Welcome back to Macomb High School. Final in overtime, 46-44. The Bombers get the win over the Quincy Notre Dame Raiders. And while the crowd wasn't huge, the excitement level seemed low through the first half. Fourth quarter on, it amped up a bunch.
It did. Part of me was kind of surprised it wasn't like that from the get-go, but, this game ended up being just as good as advertised. I really thought this was going to be a good ball game coming in. These are two high-quality, high-caliber programs. So, for it to go overtime is not a shock in the least.
Yeah, it was a good one, that's for sure. And I guess you did it gave you everything you wanted. Both teams shot free throws relatively well. Bombers finished 8 of 8. They didn't shoot very many, but, man, were they good. And they were 4 of 4 in the overtime.
Free throws and layups. I mean, you make those, that gives you a chance to win. And all shots are big, but, the later you get in the game, the bigger they get. And, fortunately for the Bombers tonight, they had just enough to, to pull one out and hit lucky 7-0.
I don't know how long it's been since the Bombers have been 7-0. Of course, since they started the Bushnell tournament's maybe been a little easier. They aren't playing a bigger school, the 3A, 4A schools or whatever in the preseason tournament or the early season tournament, but still getting to 7-0 is an accomplishment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and in that tournament,
there were some good teams there.
Oh, absolutely. West Hancock's quality, Illini West's quality, IB, and, these other county schools, you can't overlook them by any stretch of the imagination. So, just a good start. Of course, I know Coach Anderson, and I'm sure the boys probably feel the same way. Work to do, but it's a lot nicer to be 7-0 than 0-7.
Yeah. I think that would go for about any time, wouldn't it?
Probably so.
I mean, I don't know that I've ever been on a team that was 0-7 or 7-0, to be honest with you, but I would definitely want to be 7-0 before 0-7.
I would too.
Looking at some scoring here in this one, unofficial, of course. Game high 18 points for Jace Allensworth, thanks to the 3 at the buzzer that really didn't matter, but they gave him a 3 for it. He was 2 of 2 from the free throw line. The only other Raider in double figures was Aiden Ginnenbacher. He had 11. He finished 3 of 4 from the charity stripe. Alex Dance had 3 points. He was 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Aiden Klauser had 6 points, 0 for 1 from the free throw line. 2 points for Tyler Bozarth, and 4 points, including 2 of 2 from the free throw line for Jackson Canoyer. The Raiders finished 7 of 11 from the free throw line in this one. For the Bombers, 3 players in double figures. They only had 5 players score. A team high 16 for Dion Doyle. He was 2 of 2 from the free throw line. 4 points in the overtime by Braden Holdhouse. He finished with 12 points. He was 4 of 4 from the charity stripe. The other player in double figures with 8 of those in the second half was Drew Watson, and he was 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Jake Hobson had 4, and Malachi Conley had 4. Conley had the big steal that got the Bombers tied in the fourth quarter, and that was only his second bucket. He scored in the second and the fourth. That was a huge bucket. Dion, you want to talk for a minute?
I'm not too good at it.
That's fine. I'm going to put Dion Doyle on the headset here.
Hey, I'm not ready to get that neither, Dion. It's all right, we learn.
Watch your foot there, Shelb. There you go. Dion Doyle just walked by, so we're just going to give him the headset, get him on here for a minute. Well, Dion, we made you the first official Bad Boy Mowers Ron Elby Auto Sales Athlete of the Week, and you come out, score 16 to lead the Bombers again in a game that you guys had to come from behind. The first time all year you've had some adversity and you stepped up to it.
Right. Well, coming in, we knew that they were going to be a really good team. Shout out to Coach Anderson, really helping us prepare for the game. Shout out to Ian. He was really big for us defensively. A couple times I got beat off the back screen. He was right there to bump. We couldn't really get nothing falling, but we just banded together. Real team play.
You guys are 7-0 now. You've started the season, I think, where you want to. As you move through the season, you get to this 7th game. Are you guys where you want to be right now? I know you're not where you want to get to, but are you where you wanted to be right now?
Well, we feel like our defense was probably going to be a little bit better. We still got a long way to go, but I feel like right now, for what's been going on, I feel like we're okay.
The Raiders come in here. It's a heated rivalry. Shelby and I were talking. It kind of felt like it was not a whole lot of excitement in the first half, but as the game went on, that excitement built, and it felt like you guys played better as the intensity rose. Did you feel that way too?
Yeah, our student section does a really good part of that. They're always into the game, always trying to get into the other team's heads, and they just keep picking us up as the game goes on.
One of the things I've really enjoyed about watching you this year is your ability to, you can get down the floor, you can dunk, but your mid-range seems like it's continually improving. Is that something you work on a bunch?
Yeah, I worked on it a lot. I'm trying to still develop a three-point shot because, when they get to sitting in on the mid-range, then I'm going to have to go to something else. But I'm pretty glad that I'm able to get it up over my defender. A lot of that comes with the jumping ability off of that.
Yeah, and obviously you can dunk, and we did the little highlight reel. We had a dunk to start and a dunk at the end, but there's a whole lot more to you, and you had some huge blocks down the stretch of this one too.
Yeah, well, Coach Anderson, he really doesn't like us to jump too much, but a couple times he was like, just go ahead, just aim for the backboard, and that's what I kind of did towards the end when I had blocked Aiden Klauser, real good player, but I just aimed for the backboard, and I got it.
So as you guys move forward, you got the big Macomb Western Holiday Tournament. That's really the next big thing. I mean, you got some big games between here and there, but I think that's the thing that everybody wants to work towards, try to get a seed, try to be a big part of that. You've beat a #1 team in Illini Bluffs, the Class A team. You beat a West Hancock team that ended up beating Illini Bluffs. So you've had some big wins. Do you feel like you're doing what you need to do to be set up for the holiday tournament?
I feel like we still got a long way to go before we really get there. We still got a couple good games. We got Keontre Barnes, on Tuesday. That's going to be a really good game. But we feel like when it comes to the holiday tournament, Bushnell kind of helped us really get that tournament feel for the play. So I feel like we'll be all right.
So you've talked a couple times that you don't feel like the defense is where it needs to be yet. What do you feel like you're missing?
A couple times we just getting beat baseline, simple stuff like that. We'll jump out, gamble. It's fixable stuff, but it comes down to habits.
Seemed like they did a good job of moving without the basketball. You talked about a backdoor cut. You got beat on once or twice. Yeah. Several players did. How hard is that to recognize that backdoor cut coming? I mean, that's one of the things you have to do defensively, right? But they seemed really good at it.
Right, because it's just like, you don't see the guy at the free throw line. So you got your eye on the ball, and then you got your eye on the man. And then it's just like as soon as you see him run, you turn around, you got a big body right there setting that screen, and it's like, oh, snap. That's why Coach Andy always coaches like, bump him. The backside has to bump, and that's what Ian Case did a real good job doing for me tonight.
It seemed like you've done a good job this year on the offensive glass too. A couple of the highlights we put on, a couple of the things you did today were offensive rebounds and immediate putback. You talked about you not wanting to jump or coach not wanting you to jump. Your jumping ability allows you to your mid-range to get up over people, but allows you to be pretty successful on the offensive glass too, doesn't it?
Yeah. A couple times they're starting to box me out now, and all the guys are pretty used to me crashing, so it's just like we all got to start crashing as a team now, because now teams are starting to pick up on that.
It seemed like when you came out at the second half, the intensity offensively was a lot higher, and it seemed like Drew made a concerted effort to drive to the basket. Is that what you guys talked about at halftime? You guys had to get to the basket and finish some stuff?
Yeah, because, we were missing our layups in the first half. Things weren't really clicking. But Drew Watson, he's only a sophomore, real good basketball player. And, I feel like he did a great job tonight, getting to the basket, creating some plays for us, making open shots. It was nice.
Well, Dion, I'll let you get out of here. You probably have something exciting you want to do after a big win. Congratulations, and thanks for just letting me snag you for a few seconds.
Yep, no problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dion Doyle talking to us on the postgame show. Thank you, sir. As we hopefully we'll get Coach Anderson to come over here if we can find him somewhere. Don't see Coach Anderson. He's already been on with Justice on the far side. See if we can find Coach Anderson in the mass of people that are down there still hanging around and talking. As the Bombers get the 46-44 win. Had a good interview with Dion Doyle there. The game high 16 for him. 2 points in the overtime session. Again, I do not see Coach Anderson amid the people over there. We'll take a quick break. I'll see if I can find him. We'll be right back on TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH right after this.
My experience with McDonough District Hospital was amazing. I have a lot of allergies, complicated by nasal problems. And the procedure I had is Vive Air. Dr. Sparks was incredible.
The Vive Air procedure is a radiofrequency ablation procedure. She no longer has to do any medications to breathe, so she gets much more restful night's sleep. And a short little office procedure, and have somebody that feels like it's totally changed their life means the world.
It's a permanent improvement on the quality of your life.
At Western Illinois University, leathernecks don't just blend in. Our purple stands out. Our students are innovative, creative, and resilient. At WIU, there's limitless potential, with campuses in Macomb, the Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a leatherneck and get an education that stands out.
Welcome back to Macomb High School as the Bombers get a 46-44 overtime victory over QND in the varsity contest here this evening. Coach Anderson is nowhere to be found, so we'll call it quits. Arnold Brothers Heating and Cooling has been bringing you Bombers sports tonight. We have a bunch of sports next week and a big one for the Bombers next week. Farmington and others next week. We have 5 games and a Western broadcast, I believe, on Tuesday night. So a lot of stuff going on next week here for us on TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH. So I want to thank Shelby Burgett for coming and talking to us, and Dion Doyle for stopping for a few minutes as well. You've been watching Macomb Bomber basketball on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. We'll see you soon.